and if we could hold off so they could do both at the same time. But I don't forget first couple weeks of April, and so this will be the first week of April, and so I'm really, I count, even though it's Wednesday rounds up to the first week, so I'm hoping that means next week. Otherwise, I'll refile.
So what's going on next week? New business?
I don't know. I'm going to refile for new business. So I put a motion in asking for the unanswered no response section on the agenda. I was asked to hold off because there was this digital tool coming.
I understand
by
that now,
mid-April.
yep.
I said, okay, I'll give you, till mid-April, but so it's not this week is March 31st. There's nothing on it. But if I don't see it on next week's, then I will refile for the following meeting.
That is the typical Tom Golden Texas sidestep with his cowboy hat in hand.
I don't forget things.
I hope you'll forget.
I will not. I don't. My issue, my problem, is that I don't. My problem is that I forget lots of things. Like I forget to empty the dishwasher. I forget to take out the trash. I can't say I don't forget things. My wife will kill me. But I don't forget the weird stuff that I would be better off forgetting.
What you'd be wise to do, or at least consider, when they tell you it's going to be a little more time, you have to give them a bookend. Well, does that mean a year, Tom? No, I don't mean a year. Does that mean 6 months? Could be.
Why would the city manager or even the administration have anything to do with the setting up of the agenda?
Well, they don't.
It's the clerk's job.
It's the clerk's job. Well, so they don't. So
And like John said, he should have no say in it. No manager should have a say in it.
Tell me, the flaw is everybody in the clerk's office works for the manager. All employees in the clerk's office work for the manager. I'll cut your staff.
Yeah.
I'll take away your equipment.
it's the office supply budget.
That's how Lowell works.
I think it wasn't, don't put it on the agenda. It was, I hear the sidestep piece, and I've watched it happen on a number of other things, but I asked, let's put this right on the agenda. Technically, the motion passed, so if I wanted to be a jerk about it, right, because nobody on the council bothered to amend the motion, it just said establish the unanswered or non-responsive motion section. They all said, yeah, it's passed. So if I wanted to be a jerk, I could say, well, yeah, it passed. But I don't yet want to be a jerk because,
Right.
The manager did say, not on the agenda side, but on the
He works for
administration
you.
data tracking side, that they had a tool that they were going to bring out. Could I give them a say? I agree with you.
That's my point. He shouldn't have a say in it.
See, when I'm a boss at work and I say, look, go bring that casket out to Tewksbury. And the person goes, well, can you give me some time?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Well,
What do you think, Cisco? I mean, you think it's you know a little bit about the system.
I'm still waiting for the 311 to work, and they're talking about another.
How do you get a hold of 311? Is that a computer thing, or do you dial it on your phone?
you could do both. It's better as a computer thing.
I'm hoping
So what
for
are you
the-
going
I'm
to
hoping for the best.
311.com?
There is an app. I don't use the app.
Now
There's
you
a
have to get an
website.
app?
I use the website from my phone, but I'm going to reserve too much comment on this because I think I disagree with 10 councilors on 311.
Yeah, it's in my opinion. I've tried to use it. It's not working as well as it's being advertised. A lot of stuff you put in and disappears. It doesn't get corrected.
Well, they resolve it. Don't worry. And this is what I've said, and I get pushback. And this is when I say this is one of those spots where I am on a hill by myself. I think at times, and that's okay. I think 311 maybe does work for some people. I kind of feel like 311 works for some people the way that calling a city councilor works for some people, which is if someone recognizes your name on the 311 system, it seems like you get further. But I can recognize when the votes will never materialize for me. So. Hopefully we can make it better. I think it's very expensive. I think at the MIS department budget has really ballooned since the rollout, and I think for what we're paying, we need to be sure that we're actually getting the quality of service that's advertised because this is not an inexpensive tool.
I agree there. I looked at the price and I was on the same
How much did it cost?
opinion as yourself, Councilor.
How much did it cost?
We're talking millions, right? It's
Well,
a lot of
we're
money.
talking-
It's a lot of money.
311 cost us millions of
Well,
dollars?
so 311 cost us, I'm not going to give you the exact number because I didn't look it up before this meeting, and I like to trip.
Is it over $1?
It's over $1.
Okay.
And it came with staff, and so the reason I don't want to throw an exact
Staff?
number, yes, the reason I don't want to throw an exact number is because
Let's
some
hire
of
more
the
Tommy's friends.
the positions that were originally created were created with ARPA funds. They've since gone into the general fund, but because we don't get 5 years of positions in budget packets, looking back to see which position was created with ARPA, but now we're saying it was in the general fund because we actually don't have very many ARPA, and so seeing where the addition came from and what position is tied where is a more complicated ask than I can do at 6 a.m.
So you can either use, like I said, the phone or the computer. So let's just say I use my phone. 311. There's a pothole on Chelmsford Street. There's a water leak on.
Yes, it's a very nice system. I personally, the idea of 311 and even the interface, like the user interface in putting in the service request, the pothole, the light out, the whatever, is good. It's a very nice system. The problem is in the follow through, and if we're not seeing improved service request fulfillment, we're just kind of clicking through. Mm-hmm. Then that's where I would say, like, is this a good use of our money? And if we are, because I don't want to say we're not, if we are seeing, that we're the city's more responsive to getting some of these problems fixed, then okay, then it's a question about if the money is worth the service we're getting, and that's okay. It's budget season. I said on the school side, and it bothered people, but I have said on everything. I say in my household budget, things cost money. The question is not, do you want a really crappy version of something? It's do you need the function done? Mm. Okay. What can you afford to have the function done? Mm. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah. And if it's a need, you have to find a way to pay for it. If it's a want, now we start talking.
Sure.
And if it doesn't work, then why am I paying for it? Mm. On any level.
Bobby, how you doing, pal? I haven't been ignoring
Just
you this
listening
morning.
to our city council, just listening to him.
Still waking up.
Well, no. Do you get paid to be city councilor now that you left
Now
your
I
school,
do.
John?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's
Because
good.
I always felt like Eric Gitchie should be paid for the job.
Yeah.
He does too.
Yeah.
But you're going to be a very important spoke in the wheel, let's say, because of your knowledge of your schools. Especially you were a special ed teacher, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so just your general knowledge of what special education is all about. It's the biggest part of our school budget. It's the biggest piece of the pie. And I bet you could come up with a lot of different things to help out the schools now that you're sitting on the city council. So I'm excited to see what you're going to bring to the city council. You're not going to make everybody happy, I can tell you that. But so far, so good in my eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyways.
Absolutely. From what I observed of the new councils, you seem to be the one that's really out there and doing your homework and asking the tough questions. Well, some of them, so.
What I would recommend, that you never forget your district.
Oh, absolutely.
Number one, back Central Street. In the summertime, peak hours, you're having anywhere from 20 to 30 cars broken into on a nightly basis. Those are the type of issues that I would want to have you deal with.
And there's no doubt in my mind that's where we want it, back Central Street.
Yeah.
The other council, the former council, didn't pay attention to back Central Street, Chapel Street. All
And the other piece over there, just very quickly, sorry. The other piece over there is while they're doing this zoning audit and the proposal from this consultant group for zoning changes, is that a lot of the noise on zoning changes winds up coming. It's remarkable on both sides of an issue on zoning changes. The loudest voices are from Belvedere, the Highlands, and Pawtucketville, and that's people clamoring for density, more housing, and change it from their lots on the Tri-City Forest, right? Dragut, Tingsboro, Lowell State Forest, all the people over there. Oh, that's density. It's for them over there. The Highlands, they do the same thing. Belvedere, same thing, but not in my neighborhood, is that in my neighborhood and in my district and in Sidney Liang's district, in the Acre, in downtown, in Back Central, in Lower Centerville, where we have 2, 3, 4 family homes already, and it's called urban multifamily zoning. So in the zoning code, the urban multifamily, this zoning audit that proposed reducing the lot requirement in Belvedere from a whopping 10,000 square feet to 7,500, and I understand why some people would be upset about that. But the same zoning audit that's going to have some of these activist groups going, yeah, woo, housing, yeah, take that, Belvedere. And they lost 2,500 feet. They want to take Back Central. They want to go from 1,000 square feet, 1,000 square feet per dwelling unit to 500 square feet per dwelling unit, with no other change done in that neighborhood. They just want to hit times 2. You have a 4-family, make it an 8-family.
Right.
That's insane.
Especially when there's no parking.
Well, that was my
There's no
point when
parking
it
at
came
all
up.
down there right now.
There's no parking. You can't walk on the sidewalk because the cars are on the sidewalk. There's no park. There's no grocery store. There's no. So you want to pack all these people in, and then you have the transit. The transit's coming. Well, why? You can't just say. And this is not a knock at the LRTA. This is reality, right? You can't. People will walk. They'll take the bus. Okay.
I got a comment from the audience.
Yes.
About 311 program is a great tool
It is.
to report issues when it actually works.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree, and I do want to be clear on that.
Back to the 311. I just literally spent, I don't know, a couple minutes trying to download the app onto my phone, and I couldn't navigate through the website. So that just, first of all, I did put 311 Lowell, and nothing came back. I had to put 311 City of Lowell, and then it did come back. So its listing isn't listed well, so it gets recognized. And then I went through the App Store and wrote 311 City of Lowell, and the app didn't show up. So I don't know.
But on the zoning,
Should be easier.
on the zoning, I understand why we don't have, because it's at every level and it's the same groups. And I'm sympathetic, actually. I think my politics are probably closer to a lot of those guys than they are to anyone sitting at the table. But at the end of the day, it's just not realistic. It's not real life that they're asking for.
Sure.
And-
Well, Sean, in my opinion, sorry I cut you.
Yeah.
I thought with any development that you see in a new area, the first thing they do is build the infrastructure. You see the streets, the roads,
Yeah.
or the train track that we're waiting for, right, to be in place before you start building the structures that people are going to live in, right, or work at.
Well, but I also think that this is so city side. We have dropped the ball consistently. So we have a funding mechanism through the Community Preservation Act to fund historic preservation and open and recreation community space in addition to housing.
Okay.
So we know that there are a number of development projects that are coming between the university and between private developers who can see that there is money to be made in Lowell, especially in our denser neighborhoods in multifamily home construction. So we know there's this big development coming by the university. We know there's ongoing infill development in Centerville, the Acre, Back Central. Why are we not using Community Preservation Act money at developing public amenity and open recreation space in these neighborhoods where kids and families don't have any access to that, and instead we're using that pool of community resource money, that Community Preservation Act money that is for the good of all of us in the city of Lowell, and we're taking it, and what do we do with it? We give it to private real estate developers to help them continue. Like they were already building the thing. They're going to be fine. There are so many avenues for funds for real estate development between state money, local tax incentives.
Why would you need to increase the incentives when you have advertisement out there saying, if you want to move to Massachusetts, look at Lowell being a fine place to go and live.
The best.
The best in the state, but yet we're still
But I think
giving I mean, you're giving
And-
the house away.
but
That's what I'm saying.
I don't mind incentives. I don't mind financial help. I really don't. I think it can help make housing more affordable. But when we have one dedicated revenue stream through the CPA. We have one dedicated revenue stream that can be used to ease the impact on the neighborhoods, especially our dense neighborhoods, especially like qualified census tracts that are seeing increased development, that are seeing increased density, and the people who are feeling the brunt of that are not single-family suburban homeowners in Belvedere, the Highlands, or Pawtucketville. It's people living in 2, 3, and 4 family or plus units, and using that Community Preservation Act money and actually applying, if the city of Lowell would ever actually apply for any of the money or stop giving back money that they apply for, like they did this year where they applied for $600,000, and then I watched the meeting. It was actually the city of Lowell's representative who said, actually, don't give us that money. That, right? No, we don't want that money. We don't want it. If we were using that money to equip, we can't do the roads, but we can do the outdoor rec space piece, right? The community space piece in the Acre, in Lower Centerville, in Back Central, in downtown, so that as these developments continue coming with oodles of state money and local tax incentives through LINK, through the HCID developments that are coming online, we have at least some of the community amenity and infrastructure coming online to help keep that community intact. And I think right now we're just not seeing that. We're seeing a city that's just not interested in that, and I think that's wrong.
Well, I'm glad we are interested in a senior center.
I was just going to, let's go to another subject. We've got a bunch of subjects. What about the senior center? I watched the council meeting, well, the replay of it. What happened? I didn't understand what happened. So the vote last week was 11-0 to what?
To put an RFP out for another senior center.
All right. So that's going to be, and then I heard the manager say it'll take 30 days or so to get that out there. So you pretty much, this, in your mind, is the senior center we're in now, it's going to be history, or you think?
No.
Oh, you don't think? Okay, you don't think it will be?
No, I think whether we win or not, and I think we'll win. I do. I think that if we are actually going to fight for what should be ours, before another blog starts up about how we don't actually own, okay, what should be ours, right? I went through the checkout line, I scanned the thing, I gave the money over, but you're right, they didn't give me the receipt yet, but I did pay for it, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
we need a backup plan. We need it's responsible. We should have had this backup plan as soon as anybody in the city became aware of this issue or potential issue. This backup plan should have been put into place, and it wasn't. Which is a ball drop. That's a ball drop. It shouldn't have taken this council. The council I am on shouldn't even have been the one that put this RFP out. The prior council had 2 executive sessions on this, and at no point did they say, hey, you know what? We should probably get the ball rolling here on a backup plan, because if this guy wants to play hardball, we need to be ready to play.
I got another comment from the audience. I will just say that the housing push isn't helpful. Commercial businesses should be pushed a lot harder to help the burden of residential taxpayers. I can apply for the build 36 units with no parking. That's a joke. Well, now that said, Sean, is there any mindset amongst your colleagues on the council to revisit the MBTA rule where Lowell, you don't have to have any parking, and in Drake, you have to have 2 parking spaces per unit? Same MBTA.
I mean, I look at the tower of shame at the bottom of the Lowell connector now, and every time I drive past it, I have to listen to my wife, who I love dearly,
How are you?
tell me how stupid it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's just
Who's mad at
It's
me?
all good, buddy. It's all good.
It's all, you're doing your job, and
I mean-
you're showing your independence, and you're,
Hey, Tommy, can you turn that mic on and put this, grab this phone here, and, John,
You got it, Tom?
the mayor.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
the man. I mean, I think the senior center is something you definitely have to fight
Just
for.
turn the
On
microphone
principle, we know the deal that was put out
Hold on.
there on the date that this came out was, at the end of this lease, the city's gonna be gifted property or given the property back. That's the reason
right.
Good morning,
we
Mr.
initially
Mayor.
got in the deal.
good morning, Mr. Mayor, how are you?
How are you?
Good,
Good morning.
good,
How
good.
is everybody?
Good
Very
morning.
good, very good.
Before I'm done saying everybody's name is good morning, it would be the 7 o'clock break time, so I'm going to try not to do that.
Well, you got City Councilor Sean Mcdonough who's sitting next to me, and I have to say, I tell him every time he comes on, he's doing a heck of a job so far. He's really showing his independence.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would
So-
agree. Council McDonough has been an asset to the city council, and he does his homework, and
Exactly.
whether people agree or disagree, he has a position that has base to it. He doesn't just cower to the powers to be, which is always good when you have your own voice and you think about certain things and try to make them a better place. So I think Council McDonough's doing a really good job.
Sure.
But that of course, that's my opinion, and someone will say, Eric is swaying the argument, but that's not the case.
Of course,
Sean's
yeah.
known for it.
Yeah.
Well, when we talk about the senior center, again, we're negotiating in public, which is a tough thing to do. When we're negotiating behind closed doors in executive session with the past council, it was a slam dunk. We were going to do the 15 years, and it was over with. And then, they canceled the last 2 meetings of the year and pushed it to the new council, which they thought a different direction was the proper way. Councilor Robinson and I, from the very beginning, thought that we were being had, and that we needed to negotiate a better package for everybody. So I think right now we're in a very good position. I know people are not seeing the whole picture yet, but I think something very good is going to happen.
That's good. That's good. And I said to so this RFP, I heard the manager say that it takes about 30 days to put together. That's correct?
Yeah, and again, Tom, I don't want to go too deep into it, but
Okay.
there are certain things that certain people already know. And when you look at RFPs and stuff like that, you just have to take into account we're negotiating in public.
Yeah. And I liked, is his name Williams, the city solicitor last week? I watched it on my computer, made a remark that I can say things in executive session I really can't say here. I like that remark in a way, where he was protecting himself and protecting probably the council,
Well, and again, he did say things in executive session that he didn't say in public.
Yeah.
Some of his positions were different in executive session than he said in public. And again, when we look at everything, I think we're going to get something that's going to be in the best interest of the seniors, and we're all going to go away going, wow, I can't believe that we're in this position and we're going to do this for the seniors. So I think it's because of Belinda Duran, it's because of Sean McDonough, and it's because of Sidney Liang. The change in thought to let's push back may have a much greater impact than what everyone is seeing today.
Now, what's your gut feeling? Do you think the senior center will stay where it is, or do you think it'll be going elsewhere?
Again, Tom, right now I can't discuss
Okay, all right,
what we're
then.
talking
All right,
about.
I'm sorry, I don't want to
But
put you on the spot.
I would just say that
I don't want to put you on the
seniors will
spot.
be happy.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think the seniors are going to be happy, and I think everybody will come out of it with a good feeling, except for the people who said negative things about other people in bargaining, and that's what happens to every bargaining, whether it's union contracts, whether it's against other contracts you have. You have to take a position, and sometimes when you take a position, you hurt people's feelings that you like, and those feelings don't go away for a lifetime.
Oh.
So that's called bargaining. That's what we learn as union presidents. That's what we learn as city councilors. You learn things. You have to take a position. My job is to be a city councilor, represent the city, not individuals. So when they get upset, whether it's the Mockley group, whether it's the Saris group or whoever. It just comes down to we have a position. We need to negotiate for our community. And some people will be happy and some people won't.
Would you ask the mayor, is there any mindset to revisit the MBTA parking rule?
I don't know if you heard that, Eric. Is there any mindset on the city's end to revisit the MBTA parking rule?
John has said this for some time, and I keep trying to tell John the same answer. The same answer is you cannot make it any stricter than it was when it was put in place by the state. So our zoning rules were a half a parking spot per unit, where Drake had 2 parking spots per unit prior to. There are 2 different regulations that were in place at the time the MBTA piece was put in place. So whatever your community's agreement was before the MBTA communities went into place, that's what you have to live by. So I guess if John wants a half a parking spot, we can cut people's cars in half and say, okay, here you are. But, when you look at the one on Gorham Street, they have 13 parking spots. Even if we had our own zoning in place, they would have had 19. They would have needed 19 for the project. I don't think 6 spots are going to make that much of a difference. I think you're going to be overwhelmed with parking, and we're going to be overwhelmed all throughout the city. Lowell Housing's looking at doing a development down in Decatur. They want to put in multiple units down there, and the density in this city does not meet the infrastructure that we have. And that's where the major problem is. As we sit through everything and we try to drive this city into build, we have to remember the things we don't see are the problems, and that's your infrastructure, your water, your sewer, your school system, and those are the things that nobody talks about. Our school system is overwhelmed with population. We don't have enough buildings now. And then when you look at everything else, so let's just populate. Well, okay, I agree with you. You need more housing. But we have to do the infrastructure first, and nobody wants to be, Andrew Carnegie and throw their money at it. So where are these people? And if these guys want to be Andrew Carnegie, then I think that all these people who are saying these things should pony up. But you're making people poorer and poorer because you look at Centerville, we're in the middle of a multi-million-dollar sewer separation that is being mandated by the federal government that we have to separate. And it is a good mandate, but where do we get the funding? We're jacking up the water and sewer prices. We're going to be laying off teachers. We're going to be laying off city side workers. And now we're saying, okay, we want to build up. Okay, you want to build up. I get it. But where's the infrastructure to support what you're talking about? The easiest thing is being behind a picket sign, and throw out your demand without understanding the function.
Eric, why we got you on the phone and I might not, I haven't really researched after budgeting because I know you guys are real busy. Is there a way that we as a citizen could see the long-term plan of the city, or ask that you guys get together and look at the problems that we're faced with? You mentioned the fact that we're developing without considering a lot of the infrastructure. Is that information available, and when was it updated or changed so that we have some long-term goals that make the city better for everyone?
Remember, Cisco, they went through years of that, and they came forth with the Lowell Forward Plan. And we voted it down as a council because when you looked at the whole package, it didn't meet the demands of the neighborhood. So we're back to the drawing board, and we're putting it back together right now and saying, okay, here we are. So they're using parts of that as a stabilization piece, whether it's the zoning piece, whether it's, the parking issues, they're using parts of it. But again, we have to, it's always a working document. It's not something that will ever be a permanent document. So every day as things change, whether it's funding sources, whether it's buildings come up for sale that we never thought, or infrastructure demands, it's a moving piece. It's not something that is ever going to be etched in stone. So the best place to look at that Lowell Forward Plan and look at what's being cherry picked out of it, and you'll see that even some of the things that cherry picking we disagreed with.
Okay, thank you.
I got a comment from the audience. I don't know that Eric can hear me or not. With these new projects, you can make the developer upgrade the infrastructure they are trying to intro.
Yep.
Or don't allow the development.
Oh, there's things to it.
That's a perfect statement. I want them to go upgrade the wastewater treatment plant for me and make it so it takes all the new sewage that comes in. That's probably about a $800 million upgrade.
Wow.
So I don't know how you're going to do it. And remember, we got the surrounding communities that are tied into that wastewater treatment plant through deals. They gave us monies to build that wastewater treatment plant. So they get a certain percentage of volume that goes through it per contract, they donated in to actually fund that place. So it's not as simple as with, you can do a survey on the sewer system, the water system, the parking issues, all of that prior to, and we try to do that. But at the end of the day, some of the costs, the drivers are way more than the profits that these people are making.
Bob, you have any questions for the mayor?
No, when I look at him and I see his picture on the TV, the only question I would have is how much can you bench press? That's all.
I was going to ask where he gets his hair done.
No, listen, I was on the phone last night with a great friend of mine, Tom Cassidy. I think Tom Cassidy's one of the toughest guys I ever met in the prison system, okay? And he tells me, you're a beast, Eric. You're a beast. That's what I'm hearing about you, buddy. That's what I'm hearing.
Don't believe everything you hear.
Okay. All right. Hey, could you just throw something out about baseball and what's coming up here? You know, the spinners, something quick.
We have a phenomenal opportunity this summer with the Lowell Spinners coming back. Ticket sales are going through the roof right now. We're doing really well with all our youth are getting started back up. Our baseball fields are all getting ready. Everything is pretty much, this should be one of the better summers we've seen in a long, long time with that new Futures League, which that's an amazing, amazing time for anybody who hasn't been there. You'll get to see the collegiate kids come in, the elite ones, and play in a system that's going to give them an opportunity to get to the next level, whether it's pro ball or semi-pro ball. My son played in it for years, and one of the kids he played on the same team with was Lamb Doyle. He was drafted 5th overall in the Major League Draft this year. So you're going to see some really good talent and have a fun time. They'll make it entertaining.
That's great. That's great. So
appreciate it.
I just wanted to call in and tell you that you guys are right on the money. Councilor Mcdonough is doing a fabulous job, and every time you see something come forward, whether it is the 311 process, and I believe some of those jobs were put there just to build the infrastructure for the system, for that system to be put in place out of the opera money, and now you should see those cuts coming, or you see them cancel off tickets that I'm being told, and I don't know that it's true or not, but I think that the technology subcommittee should be looking at that regularly, maybe once every other month, and say, okay, what are we getting out of this?
Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for calling in.
Thank you, guys.
As
Have
always,
a great day.
you have a great day, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I like a fact that the mayor's always listening. He's always involved, whether it be on this show or WCAP or on Candy's show. He's always listening and is not afraid to be involved and get things corrected if he hears something that's not right.
He was
I
like
appreciate
that, and I don't know if you guys remember.
I vote for him again.
When he was on the vocational school committee, he was like that. He was very independent, and he didn't care. He didn't, and he took a lot of grief for it. And I think we all agree he showed when he became a district councilor. Then he ran citywide. He had the guts to do that. And
no, he leads by example. That's the key. That's what you want. You want a strong, not physically strong, but which is awesome too. But strong when it comes to getting a point across and not be afraid to fight for it. You know what I mean?
I think it's important not to care what people think.
We were talking about zoning. We spent a lot of time actually on zoning, and what I want to say is, before you came, Sean, two election cycles ago, the issue of ADU adding like an addition to your property. Right. Well, it was the issue of that election, without a doubt. Vesna Noon, he comes from the Highlands, which the majority, I would think, of Southeast Asians want to put an addition on their house. They have different ways of looking at life. They take care of their elderly, I think, a little bit better than we do. And I'm just basing this on how I know, like Cam Kay and Dominic Lay and those families, and Bopar and Susie and all the different Southeast Asian people. That issue almost destroyed Vesna Noon.
If only it did.
Huh? If only. Buddy, let me tell you something. John Mcdonough has taught me this a long time ago. Watch out what you say.
Yeah, well, no, I want to say something about Vesna Noon and ADUs. Yeah. So Councilor Noon, I think ADUs are one of the best examples of what I have grown to expect. And I actually am on a different side of the issue than Councilor Noon or Mayor Gittier. I thought the whole fight was silly. I did. I thought both sides of that fight were silly. I think in the grand scheme of things, not because the state came in and said they can do it no matter what, but because in the grand scheme of things, we put the thing in where you can build the shed and people can live in the shed now and whatever. And what did we get? Like 20? We had like 20, I think, in the whole city. Like it's not been
21. I'm building one.
20, it's
No,
not.
just kidding.
It's not as nearly as big of an issue as it was. Not this silver bullet that solved the housing crisis like one side was saying it was going to do. It was not. The neighborhood is now overrun and there's just people living. That didn't happen either. So whatever. I think both sides spent a lot of political capital on something that really didn't need to be. But what I want to say about Councilor Noon is what annoys me right now is that he still takes credit for the ADU thing. He walks around being like, I'm so happy, we got ADUs. And it's like, buddy, you voted against ADU. Or the deciding vote that flipped and voted against ADUs. And you voted against ADUs.
My district didn't want it in my backyard. We didn't want it up
he voted
there.
against ADUs, I would say, probably for the same reason he's voting the way he's voting on the senior center. We all know who called him. We all know who called him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anyone who watches this show doesn't know who called him.
Exactly.
And then I go to an event. I go to an event on Saturday.
Who called him?
Brian Martin called him.
But I was disappointed by his vote because I thought he left out his voters out there. That was
Brian Martin wants
not
to cave?
voting for his voters.
Yeah, Brian Martin's making phone calls for Nick Saris.
And so,
I said it on the radio, now I'll say it on TV. I don't care.
okay.
But it's so much beyond that where I've seen people who I got a couple texts last night because I've been saying, oh, you were right. I go, I know I was right.
Wow.
Oh, I got so-and-so, they don't talk to this.
No, the proper response is thank you, you are a genius.
But
He's done his rant.
someone, hold on. Somebody texted me last night and said, Councilor Noon doesn't talk to me anymore because I disagreed on the senior center. I go, what do you mean they don't talk to you?
It's because you're bad mouthing about city life.
Leader of the left. No, not me. I'm talking to this person who texted me. To somebody else I saw at an event on Saturday. Oh, those people won't talk to me anymore. I go, what do you mean those people won't talk to me? Oh, yeah, all the Brian Martin people, they don't talk to me anymore because of how I voted on the senior. So that's so gross. He doesn't even gain any money out of this. It's not. It's his friend. Whatever. I think he's done a lot I think Councilor Noon's done a lot for the city. I think he's a fine city councilor, but I think that he's as susceptible to the phone calls and the old Lowell crap as any of the rest of them. That's all. It's not a knock. It's just that we're all the same.
The outcome of that whole thing was Belvedere, where people vote, they didn't want ADUs, and Brian Martin and Brian Barry, of course, they play a big part of all the things in Belvedere. I just got promoted into Belvedere, or demoted, whatever you want to call it, when they did the redistricting. They put me in Belvedere now. And I know for sure they didn't want ADUs in Belvedere. And that's what hurt Vesna, because his people obviously want ADUs. What's the state do? They tell us we're going to have them. You're going to have ADUs. You're going to have small homes in your backyard, tiny homes call it.
But my issue,
oh
Bob,
yeah, it's coming.
My issue, Bob, is regardless of where it comes from, you have an issue. You go to people. You say, "This is my issue." You make a stand for over a year. You have your position, and you have your position. And it's very clear that it's your position. And then, if the right person makes a phone call, your position and your principled stand goes out the window, and that's where I have a problem. It wasn't mounting public pride. This was not, oh, I really learned something here very quickly. This was, oh, we're going to lose the vote. We need to flip somebody. Hold on, let me make a phone call. And that's where my problem is. It's not with changing your mind. It's not with having a principled stand on either side of that issue. I truly think that fight was a silly fight, but it's being that susceptible to a phone call from the right influential person.
So, Councilor, you came on and said, I don't forget. I have a hard time forgetting stuff.
Hey.
Well, there's a lot of voters
Don
out
had a
there,
question.
they forget all the time.
Produce a.
Go ahead.
Tommy, question came from the audience about the Lord Overpass, the bus lane. What a waste of money that was, and whose idea it was, it doesn't get used. Now, you're on the bus board.
Yeah.
Have they ever said why the buses don't use the bus lane? If they haven't, you can't know everything.
Well, no, it was explained to me once, but I got to refresh my memory. I will have it for answer for you next week.
Okay.
But I know in fact, it was discussed at our last meeting.
Because I'll tell you, it's fantastic for funerals. Honest to God,
I
it's
hear
beautiful.
emergency vehicles. No, it's great for emergency vehicles too, and I guess but in funerals, like, and everything, and I don't even. Are you supposed to even be using it?
Well, I don't. I
'Cause
don't.
No, I don't mean it that way. I meant like.
I don't ask for permission. I beg for forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah.
And if we go to court, well, Your Honor, it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
Okay, because people, when the funeral procession's stuck at a traffic light, people will cut into that funeral procession.
But you'd almost think it'd be better for let the funerals use it because it's just.
So I'm not gonna ask for permission. I'm just gonna continue to use it
Yeah.
until the city manager tells me I can't.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a city project, isn't it?
Jump, Bobby. Yeah. Well, no, it's part of the Lot Overpass project, which was part of the city. I just want to remember
City,
something.
I think the city owns the whole thing, lock,
Yeah.
stock, and barrel. Okay, thank you. Back to you guys can continue to argue. I think Cisco had an argument he wanted to bring up.
No, the other thing is,
Oh, yeah.
we've been throwing this RFP out there like everybody knows. Can you just give us your info on the request for proposal? Who puts it together, and what's the reason to
Well,
have,
to be
not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's to
the
be
news-
compliant.
it
To
gets-
be compliant with procurement laws, we're not allowed to. The city's not allowed to just cherry pick. Who? Oh, we really like. Your sister's got a company, and we want to make sure we give her the money. So we have to go through a process where there's blind
Where
proposals.
we can hide
over
our
the
true
envelope.
intentions, and screw the public.
Right. Yes.
But who
Go
puts
set up 311.
But who puts up the actual document with
That
the
comes
information?
from the
Is it the
city
administration?
administration. Yeah.
Oh, the administration puts it up, and they'll go out and research.
And it's a public process. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll be able to see, like, when the RFP is finalized, you'll be able to see, because they'll have to come back to us and say, this is the request for proposal we want to put out. That request for proposal is public. The public would see it, we would see it, we'd approve it. And the bids, the proposals come in sealed, and then they open them. It's a whole thing.
Okay. And the other thing is, and we'll get off the senior center. When I was looking at the senior center, I looked at the vacant business there is an opportunity for additional space for the seniors. And then I was looking at where else could you relocate if you had to rebuild.
Oh, really?
And the only place I see where there's property that's close to that or has a potential of being developed, but I don't think it's possible, is Fort Hill would be a great location.
Don't mind me laughing. Don't touch Fort Hill.
Don't
That's
touch
in
Fort
my
Hill.
back.
All right,
Don't
no,
touch
I was just being, doing my
No, there
diligence
are
and
still some
looking.
there are still some buildings that have space in them.
All right.
There's two places we can put it. Both are former courthouses. You can put it in the district
Yeah.
courthouse, knock that down, keep the parking lot.
Okay,
Because the first thing Golden was like, I can use that parking lot. No. That's for the senior center. Or knock down the Superior Courthouse and put a new senior center there. It's cheaper to do the district court building because that plot of land's nice and big.
yep.
So
I
we'll see.
see, and that's,
And you got to keep it in the downtown area. You couldn't really go out to a Fort Hill area or anything.
Okay.
I think you'd have to keep it.
Hey, I've been there. They all have cars.
Yeah.
Now, Drake is one of the stingiest, Lowell is the stingiest parking for the seniors. There's not enough parking for the seniors there. The neighbors will actually tow cars away.
oh boy.
Wow.
So that's
Well,
how
Nick
bad.
Saris will tow cars away at this
Drake
one.
at Senior
It's
Park,
Drake
it's
at
like a
Senior
mall.
Center.
It's like a mall.
Stingy parking.
But the
You know, it's enough.
Stingy.
but the people that listen to the phone calls.
Look at the wrong place.
But the people that listen to their phone calls, and you know, I think Nick Saris is very good at getting a variety of phone callers.
and that's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
I've been
It's
a
part of
part
the
of
game.
the game. where
You
people-
find your phone calls, you find your pressure, you apply your pressure. I
I'm
think
not going to lie to you. People
you know.
have called me once. Can you talk to this person about this or that? And I'll say I can do it, but I'm not going to guarantee or anything. You know?
Right.
And, you know,
Everybody does it. I get phone
Yeah.
calls. Everyone gets phone calls. It's you know whether
It's
you listen-
politics.
But you know,
Yeah.
you be your own person at the end of it. Thank
What
you.
gets me
Thanks
is-
for your advice.
we were talking about bad-mouthing people, and I'm not going to mention names about bad-mouthing people, but you know, I just can't.
Don't bring my name up.
No, your name. I'm just saying that certain people that work for the city who badmouth councilors, and the city manager lets them get away with it. I don't care. It's just, to my opinion, it happened to me once when I was working for the town. I said something about a certain selectman, and the manager called me and said, "Listen, please, I know it's your opinion, just keep your mouth shut." And it was wrong, but but this happens every Sunday, and the manager allows it, and if I just don't get it.
Oh,
And I know
okay.
you said it doesn't
No,
bother
it
you.
doesn't bother me
See,
at all.
but it should. But it should bother the manager. I mean, you're one of his bosses. I mean, but you know.
No, look
And
at
I think
it.
you know what
I
I'm
got two
talking about.
comments from the
People can
audience.
say whatever they want about me.
Welcome to local politics. Of course, phone calls are being made to sway
Yes.
the votes. If the politicians aren't lying, they aren't trying. That's from Jay. And then Jay makes another comment. Most of the buildings in downtown can and should be torn down for housing. Aren't most of them handicap accessible? That's from Jay.
No.
Thank you for your comments.
No, what we need, and this is Councilor Rourke a number of years ago, I forget exactly when, had this idea, and it's a great idea, and that was to find a funding source to make money available to assist some of the buildings downtown in putting elevators in so that we could have accessible housing on second and third and fourth floors. I think that was a great idea, years ago when he made the original request, and I think that's something that we should look at again now. I think we have a number of buildings downtown that we can't really effectively use for housing because you can't get to the second. If you've got a mobility issue, or you're older, or you got a kid in a stroller, you can't get to the second, third, fourth floor because
You hear
there's no
that a lot.
elevator. It's a 200-year-old building.
Yeah, you hear that often.
Do you want to talk about money for developers? That's money for developers that I would be very, very
Now, does your building
okay
have
with
an elevator,
spending.
Sean?
My building has an elevator
Oh, good.
because the Burke building had a freight elevator, so
Okay.
the elevator shaft was already there when they did the condo conversion.
Sure. So,
But my building's only 16 units, and so the other buildings that are about the size of my building, if they don't already have an elevator, that's a very expensive thing for a developer to look at installing that would make the rest of a residential development feasible on existing buildings.
Maybe
I think
we-
it'd be a good use of
We'll
money.
spend some time on getting elevators. This is for the State House instead of bike lanes. Maybe we can do that.
I like bike lanes.
I-
too.
Well, we can. I would rather
I
have.
walked it.
I would
Nothing
rather
wrong with
start
it,
with
but
the
some
elevator.
people-
Let's
people
start
just
inside the
hate
houses first.
I remember the former mayor years ago, not the former manager, the former mayor Murphy, and I forget his first name, was a
Kevin.
big guy. No. This was the councilor, the former
Okay.
mayor,
Oh.
was big on bike lanes, and he took a lot of heat on it for some reason. And what I could understand is that I was told that if I'm driving in a bike lane, and there's no bikes in the lane, I can still get pulled over by the cops by driving in a bike lane. Is that true?
Yep.
There's no bikes now. It's for the bikes. But if I'm driving down,
If you travel in the bike lane, you can get pulled over.
Okay,
Yes.
I-
It's like parking at a fire hydrant. But there's no fire.
Right, but I'm saying if there's no bikes in it, I can see if there's bikes in it, but I mean, it's right, yeah, but it's
Like,
true. Okay.
I know we got to take a break. The issue is that our bike lanes aren't connected. You build a bike lane and you don't connect it to anything else. It's a waste of the lane, right? It's a great idea, but if it's not connected, it does nothing. The bike lane on Father Morris that starts
what I'm
here
talking
and
about. Right back,
starts here
thanks.
and goes nowhere. Martin Gallagher group has a good chunk of influence.
Right, Bobby? You know that, right?
No, it's that like that like political. Everyone knows I you know what? We know that I don't.
I don't see myself. Oh. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the March 31st, the last day of March, City Life Edition. We are in the midst of Holy Week. We have Passover this week, and we have Easter coming up. So, happy Passover to all my Jewish friends. Happy Easter to all my Catholic Christian friends. And then next week we have to say Happy Greek Easter to everybody, because Greek Easter is the week after. With us this morning is my two usual co-hosts, Cisco Maldonado, my good friend Bobby Hoey, and our future mayor, Sean Mcdonough.
I don't know.
Who said earlier somebody would like to have that gavel in his hand someday. So
No, I do not. I don't want the gavel. I don't actually want it.
I got
you
a
never
comment
know.
that I don't know what, maybe you guys were talking about this during the break. Patrick Murphy?
Patrick Murphy, he was the former mayor of Lowell back in...
The 1800s?
No.
Not that long.
When you were still alive? No.
I think he was the mayor before. I think he was the mayor before Murphy. I mean, before Elliott. So that's
Yeah, he
10,
was.
12 years ago.
Yeah, he
And
brought
was-
Pericles out drinking
And he
with
was
him.
big on bike lanes. So.
And I think that his claim to fame was him walking up an alley called Cat's Alley down in my
Yeah, remember
old
that?
district
He got the whole.
with his back to the
yeah,
crowd.
That's
to
what
the
his mayor's
camera.
picture is. doesn't it?
Yeah.
And to go back to what you said, I remember a present mayor said on this show about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, he'd never want to be mayor either, but so you never know.
No, I joked when I looked. So Patrick Murphy, I joked in the run-up, like when no one knew who the mayor was going to be. I said, if I was a year younger, I'd make a stink about it, because then I would unseat Patrick Murphy as the youngest. But now I have no interest. Patrick Murphy was 30, and so I could have tied him, but that's just not as good.
And he
Question
just said,
for Councilor McDonough. Is the trolley bridge at the Middlesex College near the Sun Building usable? I've never seen a trolley on it, and that's from Jay, and I have the answer if you don't.
I don't have the answer on that one.
Okay, National Parks had a cutback in their budget. We used to have 2 trolleys running all the
Right.
time. And when they cut back the budget, it's down to 1 trolley. So the wizards in charge decided the trolley we see in downtown would be running, and the trolley over by Middlesex Community College would
My favorite,
disappear until funding comes back.
when you said the trolley bridge, my mind immediately went to my favorite trolley bridge, which is the one at Canal Street, over by 201 Canal.
Okay.
It's completely unconnected from any of the trolley tracks,
Yeah.
and the bridge was built in like 2020, I think is when it opened. But they put trolley tracks on it because one day we might get it. I'm glad they're there. I think it's like a monument to the ambition of the city. Like we're gonna put trolley tracks on this bridge because we are gonna extend the trolley, but it's not.
Well, we have a lot of trolley over by the engine. There's a lot of trolley tracks there over the canal,
Yeah, I mean over by so in Hamilton Canal.
but it just looks nice.
They do. But there's no trolley tracks on either side of the bridge.
Jackson Bridge,
on the
Jackson
Street
Bridge, yeah.
But then there's
By the courthouse.
But then there's trolley tracks on the bridge, which is fine. I hope they extend it. I always think those ones are funny. People ask me about those ones a lot.
How often do you ride the trolley as a downtowner?
I would ride it more if I could get it all the way home. If
So-
I could have taken the trolley up here today, I would have hopped on.
It doesn't run at 4:30 though, at 5 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't run this early.
No, but I'm saying
I think it's still in the closet. It's not even out yet, is it? Isn't it still in the garage?
every now and then the kids, like the high school kids, because it's a hop on, right? Every now and then the high school kids will take it.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the sound of the whistle.
I like it a lot.
John, do you hear at 11 o'clock at night every night railroad?
That 2 a.m. 3
Unbelievable.
a.m.
And four shots of it.
Yeah.
Wake up. Boom,
Really?
they say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've had people tell me they hear that in Drake. I maybe my
Oh, I
father-
wouldn't doubt it.
I hear it in the Upper Highlands. We hear it at our house every.
Well,
Well, it's probably
night.
so
The
quiet.
new
you-
train company, it's 4. The old train company was 5.
Yeah. Oof.
And that's the train that's going up north. They cut through and they go up along the river. They sound the horn, I think, as they're pulling into the train station here in Center by the Lord Overpass.
Kennedy Center. Kennedy
Yeah.
Center.
No, they sounding it when they cross Lundberg Street up by the Sacred Heart Church. That's where
wow.
they sound that horn.
Wow.
Okay.
They have to sound the horn whenever they're going to go over when the gates comes down. Any gated intersection, they have to sound the horn. And this
Okay.
company does it 4 times.
All right. But it's true, they're going up north, right? Is that the train that goes up north?
You can't tell which way the train's going
Okay.
by the sound, but I'm
You mean the one that goes?
You can't tell by
You're talking about the
sound.
one that goes to Maine every day? There's one that goes up to Maine now? Is that what you told us, Cisco?
My
Yeah,
guess
from-
would be
Yeah,
Yeah.
along the river,
Freight
with
Yeah.
I would say that's gonna be under the new Rock Bridge, right? Is it?
They're working up there frantically.
Yeah,
now.
they're
Check
doing
your
it.
check your webcam. See if you see
Yeah,
the
just to
train.
go back to Patrick Murphy. Patrick Murphy was a 2-term city councilor, served the term of the council, elected mayor, and then he didn't run again.
Off
They
into the
said, you
sunset.
never seen him. Never
Well, he
seen
got into
Hey,
it.
Tommy, drag that mic closer to you, will you?
He got into it after he brought. What was it? He made a joke at a St. Patrick's Day
Yes,
breakfast,
yes,
and then
yes.
he brought the
took
Pericles
oh,
bus.
he took so much heat, and people defended that. That was like, oh, that was so.
that
But
can
he
happen
just
here.
went. He just went into.
Oh, yeah.
Never
That's
saw him
what
again.
me.
You know. So
But
But-
I don't know.
yeah.
What else have I got on the agenda? Oh, I have one other one on the agenda tonight. I got request the appropriate city manager work with the appropriate department. The parking regulations, the signs, the paint. The signs and the paint don't all line up, so we got a handicap 15-minute drop-off signs, which I don't actually know if that's a thing or not, but they're up as handicap drop-off signs, but then
Well,
they're
you asked
also...
them what the hell that means. Does that mean? So
That's a
if
great
somebody-
question. People would like to know.
If my wife's dropped me off, can she stay there till I come back?
Well, so this is the question. But they're painted, it's painted like a regular parking spot. There's no marking on the ground indicating it's a handicap spot. And then one of them actually says handicap 15-minute drop-off, bus stop, and it's painted like a regular parking spot. So I've seen a number of people park there and they wind up with a ticket. And what the ticket is varies between you didn't pay the meter to the $300 for the handicap sign to the $100 for the bus stop. And it's unclear what the violation actually should be, because on the ground, if you're looking, because the sign is 7 feet up.
You know
if
he's
you're-
going to want to hire a new hire to fix this, you know.
We're going to have a consultant for line striping. The line striping
We'll
consultant.
have one of Tommy's friends or relatives will get a job.
Yeah, it's your
Fix
sister.
that.
We already have a painting crew that could go out there and better paint some of these on.
And I'm
You
not
gotta go to
saying
311.
I'm not being prescriptive here on what the solution is. Like, if that's a handicap spot, great. If it's a bus stop, great. If it's a regular parking spot, that's fine too. But I think we have to pick one and paint and sign accordingly. That's all.
Well, and I've heard people who've come into the city that don't know the city well, especially if they go to that Lowell Memorial Auditorium, and they've got tickets
Yep.
thinking they've done the right thing. And these folks have sworn up and down to me, I will never visit Lowell for anything. You know, you can have my $300, but I will never come into Lowell for anything.
Well,
So-
or even people. So, and I saw one person the other night. A guy came into the city, brought his kid in. It was not his first time in either, but it was first time I think parking on Merrimack Street. But they come in, they go to a different restaurant every week around the city. I'm sure there's more than just this one guy doing this, right? But it's a thing that I think we want to see. I know my business owners downtown want to see it. But you come in, you park on the side of the street. If the last time you came, you went somewhere else in the city, you didn't pay for any parking, even if you parked on the street, right?
Yep.
But if you don't know Lowell, it's nighttime, you come in, you park your car, you walk into the restaurant, and there's no meter when you get out of the car. If you didn't look up to see a sign, there are several places that you could park your car, get out of the car, walk into the restaurant, sit down, eat, and walk back out, and you never once saw a sign that said you had to pay for parking.
Right.
And then you get your $25 ticket, and you go, I would have paid if I just knew. So that's the other signage.
What does the sign mean when I'm downtown event parking? What's a different fee for events? Is that what you
They
said?
hiked the
Right.
rate. They hiked the rate. Sometimes you can park on the street for $20.
That's for events, right?
Or they're gonna get you in Lowell. You're gonna get a ticket. If you're in the wrong spot,
Well, but so here's
they're gonna
but
get you.
But are we
Here's the
doing?
thing on
Are
event
we
parking.
doing Are we doing the right thing? You know what I mean? I understand you have to enforce parking rules, but if you're enforcing them and you're not being fair with the right marking,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I'll hear this all the time. Well, they should have known better. Yeah, everybody says that when it's not them. But I look at when I hear people say, "I swear I will never ever go back downtown," and that goes out. It's not so much that person, but it goes out and it's out there, you know. And if they're bad mouthing the city, there's other people who are like, yeah, why would I waste my time going down there? You know what I
Well,
mean?
we'll get them in the garage. Sometimes they come in and they've laid off recently. I don't know. I wonder why. But
Who's the they?
the parking enforcement ticket guy, the ticket guy, would come into the parking garage, and if you were charging your plug-in car, even though it doesn't say 4 hours, there are some that say 4 hours, and that there are some that don't have a 4-hour limit sign. And there was no ordinance that said 4-hour electric parking regardless, but at least some had the sign. And they would write everybody tickets for charging their cars. And suddenly everybody who had their car charging would get a ticket.
I got 2 comments from the audience. Trolley tracks not in use. Bikes that end up in the canal are stolen. Markley poisoning its residents. Why should we believe government, what government is telling its citizens? Next text. It's tough to do business in the city when they raise the parking fees during special events. That's a bad habit that the Commonwealth has. I was listening to talk radio over the weekend, and these special trains that they're going to have to bring everybody out to the new soccer thing. Channel 4, 5, and 7 are pushing soccer. They just want to have. So I don't know why everybody's pushing soccer so bad. A lot of people love it. But all that said, these special trains are going to be quadrupled. If you take a train from
It's like
Boston to
$75.
Foxborough
Yeah,
now,
75,
I think it's
that's
$15.
Yeah.
You want to go to the soccer game, it's going to be $80. Same tracks, same train.
But we got to get our money back. We put a lot of money into getting the World Cup here.
Why are we screwing the people who are going to the game?
Do you know how much
They
a
pay
World Cup? Do you know
taxes.
how much a World Cup ticket costs? I bet they don't pay tax. I bet these are people flying in. These World Cup games are big money, big money.
So it's okay to screw them?
We paid. So I think the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
I'll take that as a yes.
in the most recent appropriation, I
I want to
believe.
put words in your mouth, Sean. Start off with yes, no,
Yes.
or I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and the reason I say yes is because the Commonwealth paid in the most recent appropriation. I think it was a $10 million addition. I forget how much they had already paid. So where the state is putting money into getting the World Cup here, into getting these teams and FIFA all of the accommodation and kind of what they need or say they need to be able to run their World Cup games. And so I think if we're going to make that kind of an investment, I don't think it's unfair for us to try and recoup some of the cost from the people that are now being attracted to go to the game.
This extra dough we get from event parking, where does it go?
So it should go into the parking
Sure,
enterprise
but where
fund.
does it go?
It goes
We
into
don't-
the parking enterprise fund, and what we need to do is event parking. So last week there was a fleet. The women's hockey game had a game, and the traffic was unbelievable. You had cars all over the place, people walking everywhere. But what we could do with event parking is we could encourage people to be in our downtown. right? You stagger your park. You make it cheaper to park in the garage near me, the Roy garage, which is further away from the Songus, but you got to walk past all the restaurants with their delicious
Yeah,
food.
we got the spinners coming too, yep.
You get the spinners coming too. And you do make it more expensive. The closer you want to park to the field or the arena,
The event.
it should cost more. One, because people really want it, and the supply and demand says there's limited spaces, so let's make the money. But two, the closer you park to the event, the less likely you are to walk back downtown and spend any money. But if we make it really cheap, oh, what a deal. I can park down here for $8, but it's $25 to park up there. Now you walk past 2 pizza places.
So what's your solution?
I like the event. I like the event parking. I think we could make it more efficient, and we could use it as a tool to better drive foot traffic past our Lowell businesses.
Well,
I think the
the
university gets a lot of benefit from
When
us.
you park, why don't you get a text message saying, go eat at Trolley Pizza?
I don't know. I think that's a great idea. I've said that. I think we should let businesses validate parking. I think that there's a small business owner downtown. He's new. The WCP, the pizza place, great pizza place. Highly recommend.
But you should be able to purchase,
on Central Street.
go get hungry, go to Sean's Sub Shop. And you should be able to purchase that text.
Well, but what he's doing is he's paying for people. So during events, he'll give them money.
Flyers?
He's giving them like money off their meal equivalent to. I mean, it's only like $6 to him, but he'll give you if you're going to an event, you get the ticket, whatever. He at times, and he doesn't run the promotion all the time, but he'll give you 3 hours of parking off your purchase with him, because he's just trying to get people in. He's trying to make people feel like they're not, you're coming down, you're doing the right thing, you're spending money, you're giving our businesses money, and we should make it easier for you to do that.
And that's what it should be. I mean, one of the complaints I always hear about is the downtown Lowell restaurants. How many are actually open on Sundays? I know Cobblestones has a brunch, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
Fuse
think
does
the
as well.
Athenian's open. Fuse is open on
Fuse
Sunday?
is open on
Okay.
Sunday.
They can't
Mandolin-
afford
Warp and Weft increasingly has been open on Sunday.
Mandolin Bistro, they're across from you, is
Yeah.
open. Yeah, so.
They have a hard time affording their utility bills to be open on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, comment from the audience. How many parking garages in the city? I counted 10,
Yeah.
and what
I have to do
say
the math.
you, and there's still no parking?
There are 10 parking garages in the city?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
Which
I have
one
a
makes
list
the
in my
most money? Is it Sal's?
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, I thought he
I'm
meant
just
municipal. I
curious.
thought he meant municipal parking.
Municipal parking. We've got
You got
have
the early garage.
lower locks, Downs,
Early.
Early, Roy, HCID. Hold on.
I think that could be it. I think
What's the
that's-
John Street garage's name?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I always
Because you have the
refer.
Songus-
I always
the Songus
refer as
Center.
the John Street
You
Garage.
have
but I
Songus
know-
Center, John Street, Roy, HCID, Early, lower locks. I'm at 6.
Roy, did you say Roy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have Salapoli's, you have
Right.
the university has 3.
Which I hear he
4.
is making so much money that sells.
And I might have missed one, but
Oh,
well, the issue is people want to park where they're going, right?
Yeah, no,
That's-
exactly. I mean, you got to change the habit. No, this is a dream. I would love to see that trolley running on and connecting all those parking lots with venues. That would be that, and then change it and sell it as historical and fun, and get people
Well, there's-
to jump on that.
But
and
this
get-
is part
change
of
how we do business in the city.
part of what I'm saying about the event parking, though, is that there isn't that much near. So near some of these garages, there isn't even much to drive foot traffic towards. So the
Yeah.
lower locks garage, okay, woo, right?
Yeah.
So the lower locks garage has nothing. The HCID garage, I mean,
well, they
every
used to have the hotel, the Lower Locks.
Yeah.
And that's now, a shelter.
yeah, that's right. But
Yeah.
there's not really a lot of business going on down there. There's just not a lot over there. So obviously it's empty. The HCID garage, I'm not going to say anything else. Yeah. The Hamilton Canal District Garage, I really have nothing left to say. Every time any development's slated to go in the HCID, we're all supposed to, hit our noisemakers and say, thank God, finally our garage is going to have parkers. And I just don't think that was You know, I'm not saying once the development goes in, but I don't like that I've been paying for it for the last 10 since it got built.
Sure.
I mean, you know, this is crazy idea, but out in Puerto Rico, which I'll be there tomorrow, they subcontract a lot of the busing. So you have bus drivers that own the equipment, and they souped up their transportation. They put lights on and make them fun. And what they do, they'll contract them out for different events, and they'll go out there, and they also the same buses that are used to bus the kids. So at night they turn them into a party bus, and they drive around and pick up people. I don't think we can do big buses, but wouldn't it be nice to see maybe these smaller 12-passenger buses throughout the city during these events with lights and not sirens, but you know what I'm saying? Make it like this looks like fun. I'm going to jump on this from the parking garage, and it's going to take me to Songa's Arena, or it's going to stop at a couple restaurants.
Now, do you think those buses should have booze?
You know,
Not in Lowell.
well, out in Puerto Rico, there isn't an open container lot. Maybe that's something you can, do. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm just thinking out of the,
Yeah.
No, that's a good way.
No,
to
it's
do it.
I like that.
you know what I mean?
The brainstorm.
I mean, you got to change it. If you want people to use these garages, you got to make it something different. You got to make it fun. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I think we need a lot of the use of the garage for people that live here, and one of the things that we need to do is to make it it needs to be attractive, or at least not unattractive, to park in the garage and then walk to where you want to go. And what that comes from is, when across the street from your parking garage you have a business with a reputation for, broken glass and vomit that sits on their sidewalk for 3, 4, 5 days. Yeah, I don't want to walk past that. I park in the garage, I want to go to where I'm going, and what do I have to walk past? I got to walk past broken glass, red Solo cups, and vomit.
Yeah.
Right? And this
Yeah,
isn't not at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They've had 12 hours to clean it up.
Yeah.
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 That hurts your downtown businesses. But we're politically connected. I'm throwing shots at everybody today. I told you.
Yeah, no, I agree there.
The old me,
I know
right?
what
The old me. I'm only
No.
71, right? But I think when I'm listening to you, I think that's a blow-in, has those issues. You're not from Lowell, so we're used to vomit. We're used to homelessness. No, we are. I mean, just reality. I'm listening to the news that Lowell's it's a great place to live. Well, sometimes I wonder.
I think it is.
I think it's on the way up, without a doubt.
But I think Bob, I think it's not about blow in, not blow in. It's about holding everybody in the city to a standard, to holding our business owners, our city employees, myself, anybody.
Well,
It's any property owner, any city. It's holding them to a consistent standard. I said during the campaign, I said it at a neighborhood meeting. I think it's when the mayor said, "Oh, I don't mind this kid." Someone asked a question about code enforcement. The specific question was about the historic district and whatever, and I said my answer, instead of answering the specific question about the historic district, was one of the biggest problems in Lowell is that there's more than one rule book. There's a rule book for if you grew up on the right street or if you have the right friend, and there's a rule book for everybody else. And when I look and I see property owners throughout the city have enforcement done on them for things like trash and all the crap out in front of their business, and then I look and I see another one, right? That every time there's an enforcement action, I mean anybody, go home and look at the license commission. It's one of my hobbies. Since this is like Sean's a nerd, right? But since before I ran, is I'd go and I'd look, right? When something would happen with this particular establishment, pull up the license commission and I'd look. And the police department is writing these letters, and they don't write like this for a lot of establishments, but for this one downtown on Market Street, almost pleading with the commission, please enforce. Please. There was a 17-year-old girl at the bar. Please enforce.
It's another example of different rules for different people. I can remember, this is 10 years ago, I was down at, it's across the street from there. There's condos across from that certain establishment that's
Yes.
called
Yeah.
And a friend of mine lived in. She had like a little Christmas party, and I parked on Market Street, and I was afraid to walk back to my car. This was like 1 a.m.
Do you know how many police officers?
I know. Yeah.
How many police officers? You go outside. I remember.
Holy cow!
I went out for a walk when Declan was real little. Which is it's fine. But we are putting all these police resources there, and then in the morning, and in the afternoon, people crossing the street to walk their dog because you've still got all the broken bottles out. Like it doesn't cost you much to take the broom and sweep. I'm not saying shut the place, right?
Well,
I'm saying, but you got to clean up after yourself. That's all.
But if you walk by, let's just use cobblestones. Let's just use the fuse. You don't
Right.
see that.
You don't see that.
You don't see that.
You don't see that.
At the smokehouse around the corner there. You don't see that at Tremonti's. It seems one certain, and I've seen it when I've gone for walks downtown.
Right.
You know, it's awful.
And that's but we got bars all over the city, and they don't have problems like that.
Oh.
And it's because you need to hold everybody to a consistent standard. If we're going to write parking tickets for people that are 5 minutes over, right, then we have to. That's all. That's all. It has to be a consistent standard. We can't do better until we are willing to hold everybody to the same standard. You can't wonder, how come we're not meeting the standard? How come we can't get here if we're not willing to also hold our friends accountable? That's all.
How many members? I know of 3 of them. How many members are there with the License Commission? Do you know off the top of your head? I know Martha Howe's on there.
I think she actually
Joe
resigned. She
Donahue
moved.
and Cliff. But I mean, is that 5?
Is it 5?
I don't know.
I think it's 5.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, so, okay, probably right.
It,
John Dakota used to be on it before.
John
he was
Dakota
city
used to be on,
council.
and it's not just the license commission, right? You've I know. So the assistant manager, Sean Machado, did a very, very good job in getting inspectional services over to this establishment.
Yeah.
Because there was an ongoing issue with their dumpsters over the winter. This establishment and another establishment, they had all their dumpsters out in the middle of the sidewalk instead of keeping them in their alley. So you couldn't use the sidewalk. The whole sidewalk became dumpster storage for them.
Yeah.
And the assistant manager did a phenomenal job. Inspectional services did a phenomenal job. I think every day they were over there putting $300 fines on every single dumpster. I hazard to guess what the final toll was. I know when I got a motion response and then they kept rolling it, they were at $2,600.
Wow.
And they kept rolling.
And they finally moved them.
And they did finally move them. It took
$300 a day. That's a big hit.
But it took more than the inspector going. It took the assistant manager going down himself and saying, well, "You guys like paying $300 a day?"
Yeah.
Right?
But
it shouldn't. No issue with a business like that in the city of Lowell should rise to having the assistant city manager have to go personally remind you got to follow the rules.
Yeah, but
thank God he
go
did it,
back
but he
to
shouldn't
that.
have had to.
Go back to those fines. Have they been paid? You know what I mean? Because this
I'm gonna
city
keep checking.
always seems to issue fines, and then somehow those fines never get paid because they go back in and renegotiate the fines, even taxes.
Well, I know in Drake you can't. We just had an issue.
Louis Saab used to do that all the time. With the taxes in the city.
We had a situation with on the Board of Health with somebody that sold to a minor cigarettes, $1,000 fine, and that person, the only thing the person asked was, I was wrong, we did it, can I have a payback period? We let them allow that, like $300 a month or something.
Yeah.
We did, but we're strict with getting the money in Drake. We need to now, but I mean, those fines. I'm sure Lowell doesn't take it lightly.
Lowell's strict.
Yeah.
Lowell's strict.
I'm sure they don't take it lightly.
No, I think one of the things in Lowell, and I would be curious to see, and I know we're in a budget cut season, but I think evaluating how much we're fining, what the fines are, and if they are an appropriate amount, and if we have enough inspectors to actually be, as we add more housing, right, as density goes up on the housing side of the inspections, and as businesses ideally continue to increase on the business side of the inspections, do we have enough inspectors to keep up with the amount of work? And I think that's a fair question and something we need to keep in mind.
So now, some of these fines come with that 311. Wouldn't it be possible to put, in addition to that 311 information, the fines and when they're paid off? So that you can hold people accountable and shame people. Shame is a good way to.
Well, I don't want to make I don't I don't know.
Embarrassment.
An embarrassment.
Yeah.
But I think it rises to a level sometimes, and that is what, and you wind up with the,
Well, you're not embarrassed if you follow the rules.
This council and past councils have done it as well, right? Where there's an ongoing problem, and the city has addressed it or hasn't addressed it, but the property owner certainly hasn't addressed it, and then that's where you'll get, Councilor Mercia will make it sometimes. The mayor has made it a couple of times where it's, have the city manager, have the appropriate department work with this specific person who is just in flagrant violation of the city code, and we don't like it. And I guess it can always get to that point.
Wouldn't you think that after so many violations, you get a suspended license for slap them in the hand for 2 months, not a week, not a day?
Well, but they don't get a lot of. That's and I guess that's my
But
point, right?
doesn't it come with transparency? All right, look, this is the transparency that we have here, and we're issuing these out, and everyone's being treated the same.
Francisco.
Guess what? And these are the people who have paid their lickings and have corrected their actions.
Francisco, we have bars. So there were bars that had operated in the city who are now closed, right? And they had problem. Everyone has problems. It happens everywhere.
Then why do you go?
And this is not like a, but you actually have to have follow through or it doesn't happen. But there were bars who they'd have an underage patron and they would wind up with a suspended license, and they'd wind up with a suspended license on a Thursday, Friday, or a Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That's your big money making.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
You have other establishments that will have an underage person at the bar, and this was in the Lowell Sun, right? This is not, I'm not making this up.
No.
Right, at, I think, 1 o'clock in the morning, and the city says, there are no bars in Lowell. They were ordering food. How could you possibly think that they were doing anything else at 1 o'clock in the morning at that establishment at the bar?
My dad,
No, is there a rule? Okay, Bobby, now come
my dad and I, it was my dad's money, but we owned a bar back in the late 70s into the early 80s. And that's when policemen could own bar rooms. Talk about getting closed down early. We want you down at midnight so that all our customers would get down the street to the other bar. They got rid of that. They got rid of cops owning bars. They just put it in other people's names. But now what do we have? When I was younger, about your age, probably had 90 to 100 bars in Lowell.
Right.
Now you're probably down to 1/3 of that because we've turned those all into churches, nonprofits. If you check it out, that's a lot of churches all through the neighborhoods, which is a good thing. I'm glad they got rid of bars.
People are drinking less too.
But
Lot of
wasn't there a
violence.
discussion about, is there a law that, let's just say I brought my 18-year-old grandson into a certain establishment in downtown Lowell, and he's not going to drink. I'm taking him out to dinner. Is there a law that he can't be there at 1 a.m?
Yeah.
There is.
Actually,
Yeah,
See, I thought there was. I thought they. No,
No,
as long as
really.
he's eating. As long as
he's eating.
That's what I mean. I remember being at a restaurant in Andover with my wife, and this couple came in with the kids were like 7 or 8, and the person at the bar said they can't sit in this area. They can sit in the restaurant area.
They can sit in the restaurant, but not at the bar.
Yeah, the bar area. So.
Yeah, the question for me, and I don't know, but the question for me becomes if you put somebody at the door who's checking IDs, and all your staff inside are now operating under the presumption, right?
Yeah.
That if we have someone at the door checking IDs to confirm
Yeah.
everyone's of legal drinking age, so we don't have to check when we're asking, then now to me it gets confusing. You're not there with a parent. You're there. You got in.
But then
They
again,
think you're 21.
and correct me if I'm wrong. There's certain establishments in Lowell that I've never heard an issue like, say, with the Old Court.
Right.
I never heard an issue with the Old
Right,
Court.
even establishments like the Old Court that
Yeah.
at
And
night
they
get
attract
a good young crowd.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah, Smokehouse. I think they have issues.
They
in the
have
past.
issues sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
thinking of the Cosmo right now, Tom.
Oh, Jeepers. Yeah, remember
Or
that?
Charlie's Corner when we
My
went home when the sun
point was
came
less.
up.
My
The
point was
whitey,
less. My point was less the number. My point was less
One at a
the
time, kids.
inside
He
infraction.
leaves the room, and now he continues yelling at us. See, we don't see him.
My point is more across the board enforcement needs to be more consistent. But that Market Street, look at whatever Market Street was, 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's not now.
Oh, no.
And so when you have people parking, they live down here, they live there. One, people live there. I live there. fairly expensive condos and apartments. You also have people parking there in order to go to an event at the Songus or somewhere else. And the more of these events that we have coming into the city, the more people you have parking there. And when you cross the street, right, because that's where the crosswalk is for that garage. You park in the garage, oh, I'm in Lowell, what are we going to do today? And you walk across the street and boom, that's what you get. You broken glass and vomit. That's not a good look.
What time?
Not a good look for the city.
What time do bars have to close in Lowell? Do you know what last call is, Cisco?
2 a.m.?
And last call should be 2 a.m. in the
I thought so.
morning.
Okay, all right.
If it hasn't been changed in the last 5 years,
My son who
But
attends about one night a week.
I'm pretty sure it's still 2 a.m. And the police push for
One.
the establishment to stop at 1 o'clock.
Because
so
my
that
son-
way someone can finish their last drink
Yeah.
and exit.
My son, who works at about one night a week in Drake,
But-
and he says he'll get a lot of these people from Lowell after ours is too, and he'll get a lot of those because a lot of bars will close. Like we have
Yeah.
places in Drake that they don't want to stay open. I know, like, oh God, it's just dropped. Owen and Ollie's, they close at 10. I think almost everything at the Sports Zone, 10, 11 o'clock. So they don't want that crowd.
Because they're making it with the food.
Right, but they don't
That's
want that
why,
crowd
yeah.
either. They don't want
Yeah.
the,
They don't
you
want
know,
the trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
a
not
lot,
worth it.
a lot of businesses after COVID have been changed, business hours to, to make it because they were looking at their hours and the business wasn't producing anything after 10 o'clock, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So, and they've established those hours and now feel comfortable with their business income, you know what I mean?
You know, it's funny that when I told you my dad owned a bar, I run it, I'd go in at 6 at night and work till 2, sometimes 4 in the morning. And I seen more violence in 7 years in a bar room than I did 20 years in a medium prison.
Yeah.
Much alcohol brings so much violence. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
It brings inflated courage.
Yeah,
Oh,
just-
exactly.
Yeah.
Only can you see a 5'5" guy take on a 6'6" guy in a bar. Sean, this is directed at all.
I know. That's right at on Middle Street, right?
So,
It's on the list.
What is-
when?
Wow.
Let me give you a bookend. So will it be fixed in 10 years?
It better be. I would like it fixed before the end of this summer. That's awful.
So what does the city manager say about it's on the list?
So I was told.
or
So when
does he say-
I got on, I got on the council. The election is in November, and then you don't get sworn in until January. And paving, masonry, concrete and asphalt season is certainly not in January. So when I talked about this location, and then there's another one in front of Father John's Medicine Building, it's not quite as bad, but it's a pretty big tear in the concrete. I was told to wait until the spring when it's paving season and we can fix it, and we'll be on it. So I'm going to be following up on that. It's April now. Well, it's the last day of March.
Well,
today,
this
but
is
we're in
not hot
spring.
top. This is cement work.
Correct.
This is not going to be the guys who just hit the road, hit the potholes. This is not going to be a pothole.
No, this is
thing.
handwork. This is
This is cement work.
yes.
That's a
But
Jose
either way,
Cervantes
we
work.
couldn't do it. We couldn't do it when it was under snow. So
But this has probably been 4 years in the making.
no kidding. It is. You can't walk on it.
It's dangerous.
And that's an elderly housing building.
Yep.
Going
Yeah.
back to potholes, it seems, I don't know.
So by
Go ahead.
June,
Sure hope so. Otherwise, you want me to go to Home Depot and buy the bag of cement
Hey, you
next to
shoveled,
myself?
why not do it? You
Well,
shoveled
no,
it.
when you think of all the logistics involved here, okay, look at the picture, okay? First of all, this is a hazard.
Yep.
This is going to fall over and crush somebody's foot.
Yep.
That should be just taken away off or replicated. And these holes in the ground, completely unacceptable.
Correct.
Look at these wonderful cobblestones.
Wonderful.
But is
Maybe-
is the brick wall part of the city, or is that part
That's
of owned by the?
No, that's part of the
That's the
business.
business.
And
Okay.
that business has left that
But
established
that
that
property
building.
is not owned
Whoever
by
owns
TD.
this
Yeah.
should be told, you
Exactly.
have
Fix
5
it.
days to get this off your property.
No kidding.
That's going to follow. It's just.
I wonder
just
if
going to
that's
tap with a
TD
car
Bank.
and bam, it's
It
going
is
to go right
TD
down.
Bank.
Right.
TD Bank.
They're not there anymore.
But these
right?
holes completely. For a
Completely
baby
unacceptable.
carriage, you got a baby carriage.
I do. It's awful.
But But somebody has to own that property. I don't know if TD Banks own it.
They
Who
don't own
knows?
that property.
Yeah,
It's,
of course, yeah. But going back, those
Yeah.
potholes, it seems a pretty good job this year so far. I haven't hit too many of them. You guys? You, Bobby? You
They're still in the city.
You're in
council.
Drayton, that's why.
No, I come to the city every day, almost every day.
Oh,
you know?
you change your route because there's gonna be issues.
Okay, I just
I
thought,
think
I
they've
haven't
done
hit
good
you
in
yet.
the
I haven't
past,
hit you that
but,
one yet.
I think they've done a good job. I think there's work to be done, but they've done a good job. I think we got to be careful with how much we're doing and when, because if anyone looked at the report that came out in last week's council meeting, you want to talk about a tight budget season. That's a whole lot of the city's budget is on
Yeah.
horizontal.
Sean, did anybody in the city get fired over the winter time with all of our snow problems?
I can't comment on specific personnel. I can only comment on the city manager and
So-
the auditor and the clerk.
Nobody get fired that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay, most communities.
I didn't think they did a very good job.
Most communities have their own establishments. No need to go to bars in downtown Lowell. Yeah, the girls are prettier in the downtown bars. Another question, is the pine cone on the desk, or is it blooming? That's a pine cone.
It's a
I
pine
found it
cone.
in my backyard.
Yeah, it's a
Beautiful
pine cone.
pine cone. Gigantic thing. I don't know how Mother Nature sent that to my backyard, but it was there.
Unrelated to
And last
Oh.
text, we need a bus station back downtown.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Now, I'm not going to agree or disagree with you, but it's never going to happen.
Understood? Thank you.
I don't know where it would go.
Well, I don't know, and a lot of people complained when they took the buses out of town, you have to go to the Kennedy Center, it depends who you talk to, but they have the shuttle, it's so easy to get a bus, you just raise your hand, you get on it, you get on the shuttle, you can get on, and not the shuttle, they call it the circulator, you know what I
Yep.
mean, to bring you to the Kennedy Center. But I think a lot of people were upset when the buses, in front of the 5 and down, before you lived in this area behind.
Does Merrimack Valley, do they do the like spoken wheel system? Like, if I get on a Miva bus, I go in a route. Like, I don't really feel like I ever wind up. I'm trying to think if I do, but I don't think I wind up at a terminal.
You mean, Lawrence.
If I get on the Lawrence bus,
They park at the LRT at the Kennedy Center, the same terminal, and you get on, they go to Lawrence, there's a terminal down there. I think it's the McGovern Center down in Lawrence.
no, right? But I mean, so that one I do. But I feel like if I got on a bus in Methuen, I wouldn't be routed to a like I could get on a bus and just do a route in Methuen, and I could have a couple without having to go through the terminal.
Yeah.
My question is less where should the terminal be, and I'm not on the LRTA board, nor do I have any sort of transportation background. I just kind of wonder sometimes if maybe moving towards a more floating, not floating, but a route system rather than the
I know what you're
Gallagher
saying.
hub.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure there were reasons, and I'm sure it's been talked about before. But
In fact, your representative for the LRTA used to be Phil Shea. Unfortunately, we lost him back in the winter, and now is it the traffic engineer? Is it Liz Ottman?
Okay.
She's the representative for Lowell. It might be something you want to discuss with her, because I can't really technically get into Lowell issues. It's stepping on somebody's foot.
Right.
The Lowell. Maybe you want to. It'd be something to talk to her about. Maybe
yeah,
it's
I was just
and
thinking about
yeah.
how people use the bus. I mean, most people want to go to a handful of places, and so getting a route that just went to the places instead of making you do 3 interchanges could.
Yeah.
Unrelated to any of it, we talked briefly about the university and event parking, and there is something interesting on the agenda tonight that I don't think anyone has paid any attention to, and that is the $750,000 that we want to give to the University of Massachusetts Lowell for their baseball field that they bought from us.
I say no.
I heard about
I
that.
say no.
I said no. I objected to it at the last meeting. I wanted to give people another week to look at it because I thought more people would say no. I don't think anyone. I don't know. So at the
Well, what do they charge us to use their building for graduation?
That's a great question. I'll look when I go home.
No, but it's a thing
Well,
where
Bobby knew
he
that
gives us
question.
nothing for free.
No, they give us nothing for free.
Boy, but what
So
they used to
we're not
charge
gonna,
you guys?
don't give them the money.
For what?
Didn't you have the answer to use the Saugus Arena for the little high?
Oh, one time, we rented the Spinners Park
Yeah.
for our graduation, and
Yeah.
no one would ever tell me how much. I think it was over 60,000.
Okay, it heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Awful.
Well, but we recently sold, recently enough, sold the university, Lowell, right? That's the Centers Park. And now the university is a qualified, they're a public university. They are qualified to apply for their own congressional earmarks. So the community funded project, that's what it is. It's a earmark through HUD.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we want the city of Lowell to ask for the money, get the money, and then give it to the university instead of the university saying, "Oh, we really need this money," and asking for the money themselves, which they're capable of doing. They've gotten money from this program in the past. Now, when I go and I say, "Hey, is there any way we could do a land swap?" Everyone who lives along the Riverwalk and who lives downtown really wants to keep this green space. They say, "No, we don't feel like it." That's what the answer was. That's the motion response.
Sure.
And then at the same meeting was, we really want the city to help the city of Lowell to help us out here and help us secure $750,000 taxpayer dollars for a stadium that, and then people get mad at me. It's not privately owned. The university is public. Okay, well, Marty Meehan gets paid like $700,000 a year. That's private industry money.
Yeah.
So by a business interest, whether they're public or private, but a business interest, why? Why? Every time we ask for anything, we're told no. Oh, well, the university does so much for the city. Yeah, by accident.
Some councilors forget that their priority should be what's in the best interest of the city of Lowell and not the university.
Or they get stuck on, oh, well, so and so's a nice person. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Lots of people are nice. A lot of people are nice. That's part of the business.
Yeah.
Part of the business is being nice. It's being nice and advocating for your interests. So how about our interest?
Yeah. No.
How about this issue where people are going to give, it's a church on 180 East Merrimack Street. They're going to give $10,000
Yeah.
for the seniors. And the manager has his Texas sidestep. I really want you to accept this money, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be used for the seniors. Okay, Tommy boy, how is it going to be used for the seniors?
I'm very happy that they want to give us money.
Well, see, the Friends of the Senior Center has like $150,000 in their bank account.
Right.
What's it for?
It's a good question.
So we're going to get this 10 grand. Tommy, what are you going to do with this?
That's a good question.
I'm going to give it to the seniors. Okay, what do you expect the seniors are going to do with it? What's the process? Are you going to just write a check over to the seniors, or? I mean, it's not easy to give 10 grand to the city, and God bless this church for doing it.
Right.
But I think you have to have some execution here. What are we going to do with this 10 grand?
I think it's a good question. What are we going to do with the 10 grand? I think it's interesting that in the same meeting, mostly because I objected to it at the last meeting, you have a church forking over 10 grand as a gift to the city of Lowell, and you have the university looking for $750,000. And then I'm going to be told, and it's going to be a 10-1 vote, and I can promise, I can almost guarantee it's going to be a 10-1 vote when I
They
vote
want,
no on this.
because we want the jobs over there.
Okay.
Your wife's never going to get a job over there.
Well, that's correct. I thought you meant actual jobs for regular people, but no, you're right. I think you're closer to the truth. People see that as the university is a
That's
potential
the story
employer for
I
themselves
was
and their
always
family.
told. When I would ask, that's the story. He's got jobs.
Right.
It's the jobs. And you look at the people who are working over there, they used to work for the city.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand how we continue to give, and I'm not looking for, oh, well, this one's going to pay taxes or this. I don't care. It's not what I'm talking about. and I said this on the floor at the last meeting. Markley employs people. Markley, there's an argument to be made that Markley does some good for the city. I don't like Markley very much. I don't like them at all. However,
Sean, take that other mic.
uh-oh.
Yours just coinked out, I think. That's good.
However,
Thank you.
we looked at what the impact was on the neighborhood, right? We listened to all those neighbors who said they don't listen to us. They're eating our whole residential area, and we said we're gonna put a moratorium on these data centers, and we're gonna figure out what can we do to safeguard the interests of the neighborhood. Well, downtown is also a neighborhood. Nobody ever wants to acknowledge that it's a neighborhood. It's more than a commercial district. It's more than the university's dumping ground for, projects that didn't quite make the cut for Link, so let's put them in HCID. It's a neighborhood. And I don't think the university does anything for the neighborhood. I really don't. They can do whatever they want for the city. I don't think they do jack all for the people that live down there. I think they evicted 230 units 10 years ago. They did.
Yeah.
They bought Perkins and Marty. We have a housing crisis. We have a housing crisis, say the people that love the university. Oh, so what did Marty Meehan do about it? Well, he bought a residential building, took 230 units, and threw all the people out on the street. Oh, okay, thank you.
And all the university properties are tax-free, right? So, when they say, what has the university done for the city? Well, I think you're living in tax-free, using tax-free buildings, too. Imagine the tax.
And we need to look, the university doesn't care. The university doesn't care about the city. The university cares about the university. And that's an unpopular thing to say, and Julie Chen is very nice, and she is. I like Julie. But she cares about the university. That's her job.
She does what Marty tells her to do.
But I'm not knocking Marty or Julie. Their jobs, respectively, are to look out one for the UMass system and one for UMass Lowell specifically. That's not the city. The city's job is to work with the university at times and against the university at times and ensure that the city's best interest is looked after. So something I said earlier in the program with the CPA, the Community Preservation Act, or any other funding mechanism. We have all this development that the university wants to do through Link. Well, what's the impact of all that development on the residents in the acre and in downtown? That's in the heart of where all this development's going. And what steps is the city taking to mitigate that impact? What steps is the city taking to ensure, or to the best of our ability ensure, that the residents' interest is protected, that we're not...
Well, that new project that the Bridge Club's putting up on Pawtucket
Phenomenal.
Street, okay? The university won't lend any parking to them.
Correct.
Okay, so this is a time we're not going to give you any money because you're stingy with your parking, you're not a good neighbor, and you're stingy with your space.
Correct.
There's somebody bellyaching. Well, you were bellyaching about they closed some gate over
They
in
did,
front of them.
yeah.
Open that gate.
Yeah.
Simple. Be a good neighbor.
Correct. And that's
why
all
you're
I'm
not
saying.
going to get the $750,000.
Correct, and I don't care that. I'm sure someone's going to say, "Well, that's not our money. It's free money because it's not free.
taxpayer
it's
funds.
It's federal tax
Well, you
dollars."
heard that before, free money.
Yeah,
It's not free.
To me, why are we going to continue to help these people do their we're going to continue to be compliant, good little second class neighbors to the university, and they are going to continue to be stingy with their parking. Say we'll do whatever we want with the green space. Residents of the area can kick rocks. We, are going to overcharge for your graduation. We're going to okay, fine.
What's this hocus pocus that the manager's trying to push across the table at $350,000? Fully explained in attachment A. I'd say, okay, read it to me, Tommy. Help me understand what the hell attachment A is, and then here's attachment A. Wow, that's fully explained, ain't it?
Really? Well, we just voted on this.
Here's more stuff. So you say, look at Tommy, you got to explain this better. See attachment A, attachment B. You got $350,000 of taxpayer money. Taxes are going up. What's going on here?
Yeah, I gotta read through this again, but I mean, workers' compensation is something that we have to pay, and so if there's been an increase in claims, then we have to pay it.
And how did we get an increase in claims? And
That's
why
the
was
question.
it-
No, so that's the
Why
question.
was it not budgeted properly last year?
Right, and so I would hope. I mean, I don't want to say I would hope, but I would hope that there would be an explanation there on whether this was this year we went over budget because there was some accident. Right, I don't need to know the specifics on who it was, but maybe there is something happened and that caused it to go up, or did we not budget appropriately? Because I think both can happen, right?
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen.
Why wasn't this budgeted for?
That's a question. That's a question. This is not the first need to increase a budget during this fiscal year. We had to do it with the firefighters overtime. We did it with unemployment last meeting, and now we've got the workers' comp this meeting, right? So I think it's a question. It is a question. What are we doing budget side that we have this many overages? But now there's going to be another line about me in the week's column from the city workers. McDonough doesn't know the edge. I don't even know. I'll
So
try and find out.
let's end on. Do we have advertisement today? We didn't do that.
Oh, you're
Got no promotions today.
How about let's talk about the bicentennial celebration in the city. What's the next event happening in Javon? on what else is planned for the citizens to enjoy 200 years of
Good
Lowell.
question. I don't know off the top of my head right now. I did not go
I
to
haven't
the.
heard of anything.
I
to be
haven't.
honest
No,
with you.
I haven't either. That's. I
No.
was nervous to say I hadn't
Did-
heard of anything. 'cause
Yeah.
sometimes I'm
Did you
wrong.
attend the
I did not.
on Bryce Lee concert? That was
Lee Bryce,
actually-
no.
That was a good show. They did a good job with the video there. I thought it was nice. It was a
Speaking of
fun.
people making calls for the
fun
senior
time.
center.
Yeah, no, I mean. So Bobby, what you got? Come on, we got 5 minutes.
Bob's been quiet.
Oh,
today.
4 minutes.
Well, I just like to listen to the city council.
Sorry for talking
Yeah.
too much.
No, it's
Oh,
good.
yeah,
It's
no,
good.
This is
We
good.
sometimes sit here, we go dead because we talked up. When you're here, it's
Well,
great.
I enjoy having him throw off his little things over
Yeah.
the mic that I
Yeah.
don't have to do anymore. So that's a
Oh,
good thing.
Jesus.
No, Jesus. Yeah,
But what does it mean? Is it up for a raise?
What?
We're going to extend the manager's contract again?
Or is that the talk?
Then no way.
Oh.
Is that
It'll
the
come right
talk
out of
again?
the
There's
blue.
no.
It'll come right out of the blue.
How
I don't think it will.
how
I don't
about
think it's gonna come
property
out of it.
taxes? Are they going to go up?
Oh,
So
they must be.
so one idea. I only have 2 minutes. Property taxes.
That's fine.
Property taxes. I've been looking in last year. The State House put through a local option that might actually be beneficial for once, and I know that's rare that we get something beneficial for local government out of the State House at this point, but it's called the Good Landlord Tax Abatement. No one has fully implemented yet. Boston started to look at it. What it does, and I'm not, looking for a proposal yet. I'm looking at it. Is it says if you are a landlord and you own, I think it's up to 5. I think it was 5 units of housing, and you are renting them below market rate, that the municipality can create a formula applicable in that city to give you tax credit, a tax abatement for renting your own affordable units, but only if you don't get any other vouchers or assistance. So if you are renting to 5 people or 3, 4 people,
So if you have your mother upstairs in a room.
no, can't be a family member.
Oh.
Yeah.
So non-traditional relationships are okay. So if my girlfriend lives upstairs and she's paying rent for her room, I can get a break on my taxes?
I think So the idea
She's not related to me.
the idea is
Same
more,
bed, but wouldn't
Well,
she
this
know?
is why I'm not proposing anything yet. The idea is more that you have a number of small-time landlords, and Lowell has a lot of smaller landlords, right? Not your Wins.
Hey, tomorrow's City Life, we got Lee Gitch.
Oh,
No
boy.
April Fools. Lee Gitch is going to be here with Linda Bauer.
I haven't
It'll
seen
be a
me
good
in a
show.
long time.
Time
Yeah.
is shot, boys.
Well, Sean, thanks for coming in again. This is great. 2 weeks in a row. We see you a lot more. It's great
Yeah,
having you.
it's nice.
Cisco,
having
have a
you.
great trip. When are you coming back, buddy?
I'll be back on the 8th
So,
for a couple of days, and then I'm shooting back to Puerto Rico
so
on
you
the
won't
14th.
be here for the show next week?
No.
No. All right.
I'll call in and harass you guys.
Hey, thanks for coming. See
All
you
right,
tomorrow.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for watching.